I have had a really successful business. So as I've gone through that, like stress has built up in my life. And through time, I've had a number of really unexplained medical stuff. But the reason I want to tell the story is I was here at the retreat in June. And when I was here in June, I had had chronic hives for maybe 6 years. Every day I had hives and I had urticaria. Now, if you don't know what that is, hives for me were like quarter-size welts that would come up under my skin, and I would get them in patterns, like down my sides. I mean, I thought there had to be something to the patterns. I don't even know. But they would come in patterns, and they would be like raised, swollen, itchy. And I could take that because I could just, kind of power through it. But what I couldn't take is the urticaria. And what that is when you get hives in the soft tissue on your face. And so my eyebrows would swell up, my eyes would swell, and I'd look like one of those blue people from Avatar. And my lips would be like I had a bad lip injection job. So, the correlation was it was I would have to stay in. I couldn't go anywhere in public looking like that. And my job, I'm a tour host. I do travel events, large travel events. I was once on a ship with 700 guests, and I had an outbreak on my face. And, what do you do? I mean, honestly, I think it was my body and spirit's way of saying, slow down. So when I was here in June, I had a healing, and it was, the June event was spectacular. I mean, I could tell you all about, the different timelines in life I experienced on the beach and how my mind movie all came true in like the day I was here. But the cool thing was, after the healing, I hadn't had hives for 6 months. Gone. Not a single reoccurrence. And I came back here in December, and I was, it was a little more challenging. I'd cleared a lot of work. And so I was, I was struggling a little to get into it. And I'd heard Dr. Joe say, just the day before, and he was, he draws on the chalkboards. And there's this one where he's like, you have to go through your programming to clear it, to get out of it. And so Wednesday, I think it was the third day of the retreat, I was just fighting myself. Every piece of my old program was coming back up. Stuff from, Sister Patricia in 3rd grade. And I was taking those beliefs and judgments and judging myself in the current situation. You name it, 40 years worth of stuff. And, lo and behold, I had a whole flash of hives. And so I went back to my room, I skipped a session, I started journaling all the things that I was telling myself in my head, all the beliefs, all the underlying thoughts and the processes, the things I never want to think again. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to beat myself up today. It's the middle of the week, there's time. So I journaled it all, I really got clear on what I didn't want to have happen anymore. And when I came in the next morning, they gave me a healing coin. And it was a gorgeous experience. It was so gorgeous. I mean, all this goes back to, there's the stress, but it all goes back to me not feeling worthy and not good enough and judging myself. And, hearing the material for a second time, it was all so clear. And, I'm really grateful that I had this horrible outbreak in an event, because this is the most loving environment ever. And so in the healing, I felt my heart open. I felt so much love from all the people that were participating with me. And even in the healee room, I was just in there and I'm like, I was just like, I really deserve this. I am worthy, I'm ready. This is going to impact the rest of my life. And I'm, very convinced that that's the end of that. Now, of course, there's all the other stuff. And, I could talk forever about, the physiological stuff. And, I have a number of diseases associated with high stress. I have high sugar, I have high cholesterol. But I feel like that's all going to be a part of my past, too. And so I'm looking forward to getting it tested when I get home.